Hey, this is Matt Winning at winningstrength.com. Today we're going to talk about training in the heat and some tips for performance and health. There's going to be a lot of things on here that you might not have thought of that are going to help you, especially when it's hot. We're in this gym today, at Ludus Magnus. We don't have air conditioning in the gym. It's been 90 plus degrees with super high humidity. So let me show you how we combat that so that you can have performance no matter what time of year it is, but especially in the summer. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're eating constantly. So hydration not only comes from water, but it can also come from food. Now, if you're eating rice and you're doing the vertical diet like we try to suggest to most people, that's going to help with hydration tremendously, especially adding more than salt. Now, salt is very, very crucial, especially when it's hot out, for all meals. Not only to salt to flavor, but also to have electrolytes, and you lose a lot of salt in your sweat. So I know salt's been bastardized for a long time by doctors and medical professionals, but in reality, they were kind of measuring the stuff that salt has or salt is in. That, like a cheeseburger is not the same as eating a lean steak, right? You got bread, you got all these condiments, you got all these empty calories, which is probably what was causing a lot of the stuff that they said that sodium was actually not causing, but needed to be healthy as far as having in your diet. So make sure that you're having salt and you're salting your food every time that you're eating. The next thing is that we even take a little bit of buffered salt right before we train. We take what we call thermotabs. Now this is just buffered salt, and thermotabs will help tremendously if it's super hot out and you're going to sweat your ass off. So we usually take anywhere from 2 to 3 buffered salt tablets right before we train. I actually got that tip from Stan Efforting, and it helps me out tremendously when it's super hot out and training. It doesn't seem like I hit a wall nearly as fast. Now the next thing is you might have to do some intra supplementation. Now what we use is Pentacarb from ATP Labs, and that has electrolytes in it as well. And you're also going to need a little bit of carbohydrates, maybe even a little more than normal when it's super hot. So what we do is we drink around 50 grams of Pentacarb while we're training. That seems to help out tremendously with not only keeping the energy levels up while you're burning more calories because it's so hot, but it's also replenishing some electrolytes. So you can notice that you really can't get enough potassium and sodium when you're training in a hot environment like Las Vegas or Ohio in the middle of the summer, really anywhere in the United States in the middle of the summer. So the point is that make sure you're getting plenty of salt in. The next thing is that, and this is something that's I've always tried to use as I've been retired, is I use the summertime to lean out. So the point is that when you're training in the summer, training ultra heavy can be really, really difficult if you're not in an air-conditioned gym. So what I always did was from June to August was kind of an off season where I wasn't trying to squat 800-900 plus pounds. I wasn't trying to bench 600. I was trying to put on more muscle tissue. So I find that doing a little bit more isolated stuff, I won't say bodybuilding, but somewhere in that realm, try to train as hard as you can, but put yourself in a caloric deficit and start training, and you'll start to find that the more inflammation you lose by cutting bread, other forms of gluten and dairy out, you'll find that when you're leaner, you don't get as hot nearly as fast. So I find that the people that really struggle to train in the high heat tend to be people that are either insanely out of shape or they're carrying way too much body fat. So if you have any other questions on how to get that stuff fixed up or how to train differently in different temperatures, come on and talk to us at Patreon or get on online coaching where we adjust that stuff based on the temperatures anyway. So the point is that we've always used our highest strength peaking cycles in the winter. So keep that in mind. I know that sometimes you can't decide when your meets are going to be, but in powerlifting, you can kind of do a meet anytime you want. So I would recommend utilizing the summer as an off season in order to just learn to get a little bit leaner, learn to get your diet a little bit more tucked in, and also make sure that you're using a lot of salt. So I'll talk to you guys later.